The last thing on the minds of many young people is, when can I buy my first home? But there are some people who have always planned to get into the housing market as soon as possible.
I think it's massively ingrained in Australian culture to have the dream of owning your own home, and it's definitely something I've always grown up with. I personally have been saving since I was 18 to be able to buy my own house. I'm 21 now, and I'm probably about 6 months away from actually being able to do that. I think the younger you do it, the earlier you pay it off, and there can't be a negative to that.
Buying a home while you're young can make life easier down the track, but comes with significant risks.
A lot of the younger ones, I think, that are looking have taken their advice of their family, particularly. We see a lot of older people that bought early into real estate, and they're very wealthy people, most of them now. We're very encouraging to first home buyers not to overcommit, but to get into the property ladder if they can, because we unfortunately see a lot of old people that are on pensions that are renting. The younger you can start, we firmly believe a roof over your head, it doesn't have to be a mansion, it doesn't have to be flat, but own your own home. Because then no matter what goes wrong in your life, and hopefully nothing will, but if something does, you own your own home, you then only have to feed yourself. You're not worried about paying rent or where am I going to live or paying a mortgage. So basically, don't overcommit, take your time, do your research.
But despite the pressure to get our lives together as soon as possible, we shouldn't necessarily feel lacking for not having such expensive priorities in our 20s.
Young people these days are spending longer in education, so they're making a bigger investment in education, which means they're putting off working and putting off those years of saving. So that factor is leading to fewer young people actually having the capacity to get into the home market. Now, there are still, amongst that, in the sort of 20 age group, there's probably 25% of sort of young households who are into home ownership. So renting gives you a lot of flexibility. Over and above that, of course, house prices have gone up. It is more expensive to get into the market, so that's also constrained people. So, look, people talk about a crisis in affordability for young people, but there are actually a lot of legitimate reasons why people defer getting into the housing market. It's not just a question of the cost of getting in, but there are a lot of positives in sort of maintaining that flexibility when you're young. But long term, it's still going to be a good investment to get in. There are significant tax advantages in being in the housing market as an owner-occupier versus a renter, but you need the equity. You need some equity to get into the market. So, and that takes time. You've got to save. So, I hear people say get into housing, in your teens. Well, I didn't do that. There are other things in life than owning a house.
It pays to consider the risks, but any sacrifices made now will be well worth it in the future.
At the end of the day, owning a house is a massive financial burden. It's something you have to take quite seriously, and the younger you can do it, the earlier you can take advantage of that. You're more likely to be able to have more money to funnel into a mortgage, say when you're my age, than when you're 30 and you have children and you have car loans and you have school fees. Whereas if you're younger, you can get that done. You can own 3/4 of the house before you even have kids, and if you do that, you can get rental properties. The only way to get ahead. And I'd rather work hard now to get ahead than party now and kind of be a little bit more screwed over later.
Brittany Carr, Carpe PM.